You've seen a dozen videos comparing Lightroom and DxO, and they all ask the same question: which has better features? And honestly, that's the wrong question. They line up sliders, they talk about export speeds, and they declare the winner based on a checklist. And in doing so, they're missing the entire point. Now, choosing between these two isn't about buttons, it's about a fundamental difference in philosophy. One is built to be the center of your entire photographic universe. The other is built to achieve scientific optical perfection on a single image. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what philosophical differences mean for you. Now, by the end, you won't need another comparison video. You know instinctively which one is right for you and the way you think about photography. Hi, I'm Steve, and let's go ahead and get into this here. Now, before we even touch a slider, we have to understand why these two programs even exist. They weren't just born, they were born for completely different ideas. Lightroom Classic is a librarian. Imagine a massive, sprawling university library, and its purpose isn't just to hold books, but to organize them, tag them, and make hundreds of thousands of volumes instantly searchable. That's Lightroom's soul. Adobe built an entire ecosystem. Its primary function is to be a database for your entire photographic life. For wedding and event photographers who come home with thousands of images, this is a kind of organization that isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. It's to manage keywords and create collections of a lifetime of work with seamless connections to Photoshop, mobile apps, and cloud storage as well. It's no secret that Adobe has dominated the force in creative software market because it just didn't build an editor, it built a complete interconnected universe. Now, DxO PhotoLabs, on the other hand, is the optical perfectionist. Its origins isn't in the software, but in the laboratory. Now, DxO started out as a company that scientifically measured and benchmarked the quality of lenses and cameras. They've actually tested over 112,000 specific camera and lens combinations to create a bespoke correction profiles. Their philosophy isn't about managing 50,000 photos at once. It's about making a single raw file as technically perfect as the law of physics will possibly allow. It sees your photo not just as a creative canvas, but of a collection of optical data to be refined and perfected. It's for the photographer who sees editing as a craft of ultimate refinement. So the real question is, it's not which is better. It's, are you a librarian or are you a perfectionist? Let's see how this plays out in the real world. The most immediate and for some, the most jarring difference between these two is how they handle your files, and it flows direct from their core philosophies. Lightroom, the librarian, requires you to use a catalog. You must import your photos, and when you do this, Lightroom isn't moving your photos, it's creating a record in a database, so to speak, that points to where your files originally live. Now, this power is immense. You can create a virtual collections grouping these photos of dozens of different folders without even duplicating a single file. You can search for a photo that you took several years ago with a specific lens in a specific city, and Lightroom's database will find it in seconds. This is why it's the go-to catalog for many photographers. But it has one critical rule. Don't move or rename files outside of Lightroom. If you do, Lightroom will lose a link and you must manually tell Lightroom where the file is again in order to find it. Now, DxO is the perfectionist. It takes a completely different road here. It doesn't use a central catalog at all. It uses a simple file browser. Now, you point to a folder on your hard drive and it shows you the image inside it. That's about it. If you move a folder, DxO just sees it in the new location. There's no importing, no database to worry about, and no broken links. It's a simple, direct, and fast process here. But the simplicity comes with a cost of deep organizational power. Its search tools are more basic, relying on file names, dates, and simple metadata. It's simply isn't designed for a photographer trying to manage 500,000 image archives spanning decades. So, really, who wins here? If you have a massive sprawling archive and your top priority is finding and organizing those images across years of work, the librarian or Lightroom is the most powerful choice out there. But if you already have a meticulously organized folder structure and just want to get to the editing without the overhead of the database, the Perfectionist, or DxO, is your breath of fresh air. Now, we're going to get to the pixels, and this is where DxO's philosophy of optical perfection really starts to flex. When you open the same RAW file in both programs, you're touched with a single thing, and you'll see the difference. Lightroom's initial rendering is designed to be a versatile and generally pleasing starting point. But DxO does something much more profound here. It doesn't just have a profile of your lens, it has a profile of your specific lens and your camera sensor combination, and what they tested in their own lab. They physically test how each lens performs with each sensor, correcting not just for the obvious distortion, but for subtle flaws like softness in the corners or the edges of the frame. The result is that, straight out of the box, a RAW file in DxO often feels sharper and more optically perfect, and that's why many users describe the images as having a superior micro contrast and color depth that gives them more of a three-dimensional feel. This is DxO's entire reason for being. It's not about giving you a creative starting point, it's about giving you the more scientifically accurate and detailed foundation possible, and that's squeezing every last bit of quality from your RAW files. If lens correction is DxO's historical claim to fame, its noise reduction is the feature that is most convincing to people today. If you're a low-light, high-ISO shooter, this section is for you. Both programs have an incredibly powerful AI-driven noise reduction. Lightroom's AI denoise is a huge improvement and is very effective. You can think of it as an incredibly smart cleanup step applied within the RAW workflow, and it produces a brand new cleaner DNG file. DxO's legendary Deep Prime technology, however, is woven into the very fabric of the RAW conversion itself. It analyzes the noise at the raw sensor data level, but yes, before the image quality is even fully formed. It's the difference between cleaning up a spill off a finished table versus ensuring the wood was perfect before you even built it. The results can be staggering. In a side-by-side comparison of high ISO images, DxO's Deep Prime consistently retains more of the fine detail and texture, where Lightroom's results can sometimes look a little bit too smooth. DxO manages to remove the noise while intelligently reconstructing the details that other processes totally discard. It can take shots with an absurdly high ISO and not just make them usable, but generally clean. For a night sky, wildlife, or indoor sports photographer, this is one feature that completely is a game changer and is the ultimate expression of DxO's perfectionist philosophy. Finally, let's talk about the philosophical difference that hits your wallet, and that's the subscription versus a perpetual license. Lightroom is a subscription-based only software. The most popular plan is around $10, and that's a month, and this is a really incredible proposition because it also includes Photoshop and some cloud storage. You are buying into the Adobe ecosystem. The upside is you get continuous updates, but there is a downside. That's the moment you stop paying, the core editing feature stops working completely, and you are, in effect, renting your tools. Now, DxO offers a perpetual license where you buy the PhotoLab for somewhere around $229, that's at the time of this video, and you own that version forever. Now, this strongly appeals to many photographers who are tired of paying monthly bills, and of course you want the next major version, all the bells and whistles included. You'll have to pay for an upgrade, which is usually around $119, $120. If you upgrade every single year, the cost is similar to Adobe, but if you skip a year or two, DxO becomes significantly cheaper over the long haul, so you are the owner. This choice is deeply personal. Do you value the all-inclusive, always updated nature of a subscription that includes multiple powerhouse programs, or do you believe in owning your own tools outright? Now, after all of this, the choice becomes much more clear. It's not about which program is better, but which philosophy matches your own. You are a Lightroom photographer, the librarian, if you want to manage your tens of thousands of images, and your number one priority is organization, keywording, and being able to find a photo from your entire career in seconds. You depend on the seamless workflow between Lightroom, Photoshop, and mobile devices, and you can see the Creative Cloud subscription as a value investment to that ecosystem. Now, you are a DxO photographer or the perfectionist if your absolute priority is achieving the maximum possible image quality from your raw files. You obsess over the pixel level detail, the sharpness, and the cleanest possible high ISO files. You have a well organized folder system and you believe in owning the software outright. And you see this editing as the final perfect step in the photography process. And, of course, there's a third path, the hybrid flow. Now, do you know that many professionals use Lightroom as a librarian to organize everything else, and their best shots are done over in DxO for that final perfectionist processing? They get the best of both philosophies here. Ultimately, there is no wrong choice, only the choice that isn't right for you. One path offers a universal organization, and the other offers a laboratory of perfection. So I have to ask, which one are you? Let me know in the comments below. Are you a Team Lightroom or a Team DxO? Are you a librarian or perfectionist? Or maybe, are you a hybrid user? Do you use both programs and combine the perfections of both? And just let me know how this goes out because I'd really like to find out the opinions here of other fellow photographers. Now, if this video has helped you make your final sense of this debate, do me a huge favor and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already for more deep dives that go into the beyond the spec sheet itself. Again, this is Steve. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.